Welcome to Urban Homesteading. In today's episode, we are going to show you how to do some basic repairs on your decks and how to repair wood on exterior of your house that might have a little bit of damage but does not need to be replaced yet. So, if you're a homeowner that has a deck or any wooden structure around you, this is going to be an episode you do not want to miss. It is designed for the DIYer with not a lot of experience. So if you think you're going to get some value, we invite you to watch our episode and stay until the end. Good morning, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel with Professor DIY, Elpida and Mrs. DIY. In this channel, we routinely do home maintenance projects, builds, car repairs, etc. Did I miss anything, Mrs. Elpida?
No, etc. covers everything.
In today's episode, we're going to evaluate and try to repair something that if you have wooden decks or any wooden structures around your house, eventually you will have to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. And in our case, we have a small wooden deck to the side of our house, which is where I'm standing. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like, what are you doing, man?
I'm dancing, you know. I wanted to remove the carpet, but I wanted to say, but first you need to remove everything from your deck.
Okay.
So, I was very close out with the carpet.
Yeah, well, visual interest for our viewers.
So what you're going to do next, come over hither, is look at your deck and see where there is damage, right? Mm-hmm. Now this looks like scratches or pressure washer. I'm not sure that's a damage per se. But I see some damage behind you, don't fall. There's definitely damage here.
Mm-hmm. Damage as in the board is kind of rotting away?
Well, I'm not sure if it's rotting away, but something is happening to it. And there's damage on this whiteboard as well. Mm-hmm. Now usually I do not like measuring, but in this instance I'll make an exception because we need to know the width of these boards and the length of these boards in order to order replacements, right? Not order, but purchase.
Like we have to order? I didn't know we could order replacements.
You can, but the project wouldn't finish today.
Right.
So.
And then what about here while you're looking up your app?
Yeah, this seems to be actually structurally better, and I might use the wood repair paste for this.
Which is kind of similar to, what's it called that you use for the cars?
Bondo, but it is.
Yeah, but it's for wood.
And in fact, it's so good that it's structural, and we have used it before in the old house. We have repaired a rather damaged area.
And I've had repairs made at my old house with that substance, so that's how I knew about it.
Right. So it's a pretty good product. Mm-hmm. And when we go to buy material, we might buy that as well.
So we're using a measure app on our phone.
And that says 5.5, which means this is a 6.
Yeah, it's a 6-inch board.
Welcome to America, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, well, you cannot see it unless you come around, otherwise you will sit upside down.
All right.
See where it says 5.5?
Yep, we see it.
So then the next step will be, we're going to use the same tool. You can use a measuring tape. I'm just not a very big fan of measuring tapes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use the same tool to see how long the thing is.
Okay.
And again, you can extrapolate based on what you will read. So this reads 5 feet 2, so it's probably 5 feet. Yeah, it's 5 feet.
Okay.
But you don't buy 5 feet board, so we have to buy
like 6.
A 6 foot. Mm-hmm. So the next one is the one that you're actually stepping on is a different size.
Yep.
So this is.
That one looks like it could be a 12-inch board.
Probably is, but let's look at the length first.
I'm gonna say 3.5 feet. That's my guess.
That says 35.5 inches.
Oh, so that's just 3 feet basically.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take the width. Mm-hmm. And that is, what does it say?
It says 10. Okay.
All right.
Could be a 10-inch board.
So we have a 3 by 10, a 5 by
6.
6, which means a 5 by 5.5. But this is a strange dimension. I mean, the length can be anything clearly.
Right. But we know there are 10-inch boards.
So you think that's 10?
Well, we might have to actually measure it with a measuring tape, but
No, because any mistake will be within margin of error, you know. It's
okay,
not-
sure.
So clearly we need to remeasure that. As you can see in my dot here, I stop a little earlier than I should have in my measurement. So I'm going to remeasure it and see what it says.
Okay.
And it's also, I was also a little
Off on the start.
not straight. Not straight is a technical term. Okay, where is my... So the next step, now that we have the general dimensions, is to figure out how many boards we actually need to replace. This board definitely needs to be replaced, right? It's substantial damage. These boards could be replaced. They're not really damaged, but they're missing nuts, you know? So we definitely need to replace this board and this board, I think, right?
Yeah.
How the rest of the steps look?
I mean, they're solid.
Okay.
I think it's really just from where we tried to power wash that's gotten stuff off there.
And this is actually pretty solid, just it is a lot of really cosmetic damage.
It just looks chewed up, that's all.
It looks horrible.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So I tripped to the blue store to get some material. We're not blue store fanatics, I guess. What is the right term?
Fanatics or sponsored.
We buy things from both the blue store and the orange store. It's another oppressively hot day here in the Carolina of the North. So we're going to go get what we need and get back to the homestead where it's a tad cooler. So back from the store, and we got some wood.
Got some.
We got us some wood,
Us some wood, okay.
and that's it.
That's it. 2 boards. We found 2 boards.
That's them. Yes,
Because we don't need much. We bought 6-foot boards.
right.
So that's great. And now we're going to remove them. And what's the next step? Taking the old boards off?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this is a rare instance that you have to actually measure. Now measurements are not critical, like you don't need to be to 1/8 of an inch or something like that. But it is important that you measure, right?
Yeah.
Because you want it to fit in the general space you're putting them in. But we're going to do that, and then we're going to cut it using our chop saw, we hope.
So the installers of this particular deck use nails. So we're going to use the pry bar to get the nails out. And
Or try to.
And remove this board.
Even though we did a boo-boo. Right?
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
We're not.
So this is the process.
Well, that's not exactly a process, but everything is a hammer, right?
Everything is a hammer. We do have another tool that's the nail puller, but not sure where it is located this moment. So we're going to go with what we have.
Be careful of the nails as you remove the board. But removing the board in general requires a little bit of tagging and convincing and percussive persuasion.
And so we removed the first 2 nails at that end, but then we used the pry bar to get underneath the board and just pop them up, and that's why the nails are still in the board there. However, the last 2 just down here remained in the support beam because that was a rotten board, and so we're gonna pull those out and take next step.
Which surprises me.
Well, what is it then?
I have no idea, but there's not. It doesn't go through, and the wood behind it is not soft, so it's not rotten. I don't know what happened.
Maybe it was some critters.
No, that would be even worse. It will go through. Plus, this is treated wood. I don't like it.
Okay.
In our ever-ending saga of that does not surprise us at all, they used the wrong boards for the
Deck.
deck. These are decking boards, and clearly this is too high.
Right.
So we have to go and buy this type of board.
Which looks like just a regular 1x-dimensional
It
lumber.
definitely looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
So even though we didn't plan it and we thought we'd avoid it, another trip to our favorite store seems to be
Right.
in order.
But before we go, we are going to take off the top stair tread because that is the one that we're trying to replace.
Yeah, but let's not, in case whoever's still in the house, I don't want them stepping and hurting themselves.
Well, but we need to know if we have the right board, right?
Well, we don't need to take it out. So since we have an unplanned trip to the grocery store,
To the grocery
to
store.
the hardware store, and we found a surprise we didn't expect, we're going to use the hated instrument and make sure that our other PC is appropriate. And it seems to be, so we only need one board.
Right. Excellent. That's good.
Question for you, should we fill this before we go?
Maybe we should. Then it has time to dry and we can address
Yeah.
it.
Let's talk about amazing quality control, right? DAP or DAP is actually a very well-known company, right? And this is the plastic wood, this is the material we bought to repair the wood that we don't deem necessary to change, right?
Again, we bought it. We're not sponsored.
Clearly we're not sponsored by what we're about to say.
Yeah.
So the next step is to open it. I think you need to bring the can opener
Yeah.
or turn it upside down.
Is there a reason, manufacturing-wise or product-wise, that it might be upside down like
No.
that? Like nothing's gonna be like mixture, because like, as a for instance, and I asked this in a weird way, but like if you buy natural peanut butter, it's better to kind of store it upside down because then the oils aren't all at the top and splash everywhere on you.
No, that is not it.
We
In
think
any
it's-
case, and all of the ones we saw in the store were the same way. So
all of the two that we saw, yes.
all of the two,
Woo! It's leaking out.
because it was stored upside down in the store.
Ooh, goodness.
All right. So you're going to put this. Again, this joint is structurally fine. We do not see a reason to replace the boards, but it is ugly, right?
Yeah.
So there is damage to it. And this material, now we've used it before from a different brand, not this brand. And it has worked very, very well. It is paintable and stainable. And assuming it is like the old brand we use, that is true, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's what I read.
Is it drying that quickly?
Yeah, this is very dry, but we're also out in like 100-degree heat, so yes, it's going very quickly.
Then we need to close this. Yeah, it's already drying.
So I think that's all we can do for the moment.
Do we need to wet it? Because that looks like a mess.
Well, I'll have to clean it up. I'll have to get the hammer.
So, take two. In fact, it's not take two, it's trip two, right?
Yes.
Going to the store. Because we love Lowe's so much, we go twice per day,
Yes.
right?
We just love
Maybe we need Lowe's stock.
fuel. Look at our temperature today.
It is a cool 99 degrees. Not the right day to be doing what we're doing, but we are doing it.
But at least it's not a super, super involved project.
And we have arrived. We spent quite a lot of time on project days in this building. Right, Mrs. Elpida?
Yes.
So mission accomplished. We came back and the board fits as it's supposed to. This is a simple project that makes a big difference on how your project looks, right? And again, you see a lot of, we try to pressure wash this and we're using a little too high of pressure. So we're going to pressure wash it again. We're going to stain it all over again. Until we stain it, this is pressure treated, so it doesn't need to, nothing else is need to be done to it. 2 screws per leather board. No, I think it's empty. You're like a lot in there. again, 2 screws per, I don't remember what the things underneath are called, runners.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about decks is that you can easily see. The next one is here, you can see the screws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or nails in this case.
Right.
So I guess an observant person will realize we repair these because we're doing it the right way. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This board is installed, and when it is stained, you will never know it is a different board, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next step, which could be a fun experiment, is to remove this big board, and we're going to work on it. Try and see if you can remove this first, because it pokes out a little bit.
I need the hammer.
So you start with the smaller one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that can easier go under the nail. Said here, right?
Yeah, this one's still kind of ground in a little bit, but yeah. There we go.
And then once you're in, you have leverage.
Ooh.
But usually you prefer the bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
And here is a little trick for you. Put your hammer or something else of substantive, so you can raise the pivot board, and that makes it easier to remove the nail, right?
Right.
And now let's see, we only see 2 more nails, and there should be more than 2, but we only see 2. So let's see if we can lift it. Yep. So pivot it towards me, that should give you leverage to take them off.
Woo.
And you can see this was damaged. I mean, you can see. Where was that attached? Oh, you stupid.
Yeah.
So again, they did it wrong, right? There is nothing to support the middle of the boards there, as you can see.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do that correctly.
You need to be sideways.
This way?
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of at an angle.
Yeah, I can see that. Stupid people.
Yes.
And we were trying to do it the right way here now. This will pull in, I think, actually. It is designed to pull in. Hey! You will demonetize us.
You can clip it out, man.
And let's put one in the middle. And this will make it a much better.
More better.
More better, much better. Better. Nicer. Alright. Well, friends, not every project is very exciting. And not every project you think will take a few moments takes you a few moments, right? Because it's very hot, we thought this will take a few minutes to do, half an hour tops. It took half a day so far. We're fixing a lot of the mistakes that they did before.
So this one looks really good.
Yes, and
then what?
The front step, we need to figure out.
So
it is not wide enough, so we made a mistake. See, that's why I hate measuring, right?
Yeah, so we got the board, we thought it was going to work, but even if we had had the correct, like, width of our board, the back of it, like, look at this. This is flush with the front, and then the back, it's clearly not even.
And our new board is flush with the rest of the board, so...
Right. So
I think we need a 12 for that.
that's what I was thinking. And so, but even so, we're still going to have to do some adjustment because obviously the step is not even.
No, 12 will be fine.
Yeah,
because
but,
you will have a lip. It's not going to be flush.
Okay.
It's supposed to have a lip.
So you're just going to have a lip and then
Right.
the
supposed. I don't know if those have a lip.
the
but
width
steps-
of them will be, yeah, they do. But the
steps
width of
supposed to have
them,
lips, yeah.
but the width,
The width?
the width, yeah. We're hot and we're tired. It's like 100 degrees out here. So the width of the board with the overhang will hide that this is an uneven
Right.
creation that they made. Okay.
In any case, this is not the most exciting episode we ever produced. I'm the first to admit. But this is a project that most homeowners will have to do at some point, right? Not this very project, but replacing a board, replacing a step. If you have a deck, or if you have a high deck, a high deck, a low deck, these are skills you need to know, right? And on this deck, they really messed up a lot. So, what can we say?
Yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this very short episode, and if you did, a thumbs up, we will appreciate it. If you didn't, hit the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know, do you like episodes like this? And if you do, what other normal maintenance episode you would like to see for your house? From Professor DIY Elpida and Mrs. DIY, let's fix something together.